Sup, people?
I'm back.
How y'all doing? Got a very special guest tonight, today, tomorrow, whatever time you're watching this. So, it's my plus two. How you doing?
I'm okay.
Just okay?
Yeah. Yes, I'm okay.
As you see, I got my dad swag. My glasses, look like I'm just came from Harvard or Princeton. But HBCU, of course. You, man! Hope y'all good out there. Everything's good with us.
Yeah, everything's good.
Yes. Happy to introduce new co-star.
Yep. Making their first appearance.
Yes. So today we want to take things a little bit more serious. Oh. Yeah.
Oh, really?
What do you think I dress like this? Look at I have my Kangol hat. I'm like Samuel L. Jackson.
Then nobody would take you seriously. I guess. Well, what's serious? What is it that?
What is serious?
Yeah.
We're talking about life.
Okay.
Creating life. New life.
Creating a life. I think people know how to do that.
Well, true. What about like when you don't expect to or not ready to? Or you plan to and then it's happening? Like, what does it feel like? What is there to look forward to?
I think it depends on the person. I mean, the unexpected happens all the time.
Yes.
In everything. But, you just have to take it as it comes. And plan from there, really. Whether it's you didn't expect it or you did expect it, or you expected it and it happened right away, whatever the case is. I think that mentally, sometimes you think you're ready for certain things and it happens and then you're kind of like, oh, wait a minute. Am I really ready for this? Or, so I think your perception is just sometimes different from reality, right? So, it depends on the person, Some people are calm, cool, and collected. If something happens, they're just like, all right, I'll handle it. I think the morning I found out, it was shocking, exciting, and I think there was a lot of emotions running through me at that time, a lot going through my mind, especially around that time. I was dealing with some stuff, so it was like a huge blessing, I would say, for like me. Like, it was just, it came at a time like where I felt like it was something I really needed, and it just came. So that morning, it was just it was unreal. That whole day, I think, for me was unreal. And like when he came home, I wanted to say something to him so bad, but I had to keep my composure because I had to make sure that that's what was happening before I said anything to him. So I had to.
How long before you told me?
It was probably 5 days.
See,
it was. I found out on
days.
I got a plan, and I mean, like, to be honest with you, in my head, I've always been planning that. Like, if I ever find out I'm pregnant, what's going to be my way to tell him? Like, I've always been planning that in my head for so long.
Yeah.
So, but it's just funny because the way that I think I would have done it, it didn't happen that way. So there you go. You planned for something and it didn't happen the way you wanted it to go. So, but it still came out good, and he knew nothing for once. He knew nothing.
Yeah, I'm a detective. I figured.
He's not a detective. He's nosy. You're
nosy. I know.
He needs to know everything.
Hey, that's part of learning. Huh?
But sometimes, you just have to let people, do their thing. You don't need to know everything.
All right. If you say so.
Yeah. So last year, I got him twice. Because it was that and then your sister. Because you didn't know about that either. So we got him twice last year.
You keep it count. All right.
So I told him. And then you can tell the people how you felt when I told you.
Well, you see the smile. I was not just happy, but a little shocked and also not. We wanted this for a while. But, stuff doesn't happen sometimes when you want it. And that's one of the things a lot of people, I think, is super underrated. A lot of people believe because if you want something, it should happen now. And if it don't happen, then it's not for them or they're doing something wrong. Sometimes it just takes time. Super excited, very happy. Oh, man, I was smiling all day. I can't remember how much times I asked her if she's okay, how she's doing. I mean, I always do, but it was a record.
Yeah.
Even now, because, for me, as long as you're okay, As long as the little one's okay, I'm okay. Same thing I tell my sister. As long as she's okay, I'm okay. Like, I just want to know you guys are okay. My brothers, as long as y'all okay, my parents, as long as y'all okay, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Because usually I'm fine. Usually I'm fine. Usually I'm okay. You know, I don't really let things bother me. I don't really stress about things. So it's more about the people who are close to me. Mm-hmm. The reception from everyone else, we find out later. Some people are like, what? Actually, even especially your dad. He was doing the math. It's like 3 months. It's like, yes. You know, some people are superstitious, or something. We learned in the islands from Somalia. We let people know like later on such and such. Mm-hmm. Second trimester, is it? When you let people know. Yeah,
usually around then. I mean, it depends on you. You know, if you're comfortable with telling people right away, then do your thing. But they just say, you know, when you're in your second trimester, when you reach there, then to start telling people, because, you know, the first trimester is just a trimester that, you know, anything, I guess, can happen. Well, anything can happen throughout your entire pregnancy, to be honest. But they're saying that the first trimester is the time when, you know, something really, you know, could happen. So that's why they always say that, you know, you should kind of just wait before you start telling people that, you know, you are pregnant. Just to enjoy it with you and your partner first before you run and tell everybody else. You know, you might want that time, you know, with your partner, just to enjoy that moment. Yeah. Some people, you know, if they've had kids before, they might tell people earlier because they've had kids before. So for them, they might just be like, you know, I already had kids, so I can tell them. But others who may have suffered a loss in the first trimester, they may not want to say anything because, you know, they said, okay, well, I already suffered one loss. I don't know what's going to happen with this one. I don't want to have to, you know, tell people and then go back and tell them like, well, this happened. You know, it's something you just don't want to go through in front of a bunch of people. So that's why they say kind of just hold back a little bit and just, you know, wait and tell people. And for me, some people find it hard. Like, people find it hard to not say anything about it. But for me, I found it super easy. Like, if I didn't have to tell anybody, I wouldn't have said anything. Like, but that's just who I am as a person, right? Like, I'm never the type of person that I feel like I have to, like, run and tell everyone everything type of thing. Like, that's just me as a person. But yeah, I mean, I think everyone that we told early on, which was our family, they were extremely excited. Our parents were just, I guess, the most excited, I guess, out of all, because this would be their first grandchild for both of them, for both our parents. So yeah,
first G baby.
Yeah. So they're excited. I mean, they haven't stopped buying stuff for the child's.
We need to stop buying stuff. Like, save some money for you.
No, I mean, what they say is true. You know, that's what the grandparents are there for. Like, and they say the same thing. I mean, it's their first grandchild. You know, they're excited. You know, they're going to want to buy stuff. As much as you, in your head, you're like, okay, stop buying stuff. But you don't want to tell them that because you don't want them to feel a certain way. You don't want to stop them from enjoying the moment. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, no, not at all. That's not what I'm saying.
It's just they're going to, regardless of what you tell them, they're going to do it anyways.
But don't overdo it. You know, save some money for yourself.
Yeah,
And also, too, I'm kind of like the person where I believe, we talk about this a bunch of times, we're like one of the first generations where we have the opportunity with how everything is now. Everything's digital, online, or whatever. Where we can become millionaires and set up the next generation to become that. So, lots of knowledge we've gained over the last few years. Now we're a lot wiser with money, what to do with money, where to put it, stuff like that. So for me, it's more of like, alright, you can buy stuff for him, but don't spend all the money on stuff. You know, put stuff in place for him so he can be a lot further ahead than we were. And a lot further ahead than they were. And they know that. So
yeah, well, I think one thing we don't know is that they probably already did that. And we don't know that.
That's it. Yeah, that's going to be it.
You know what I mean? Like, they set stuff in place for us. So I'm sure that they did the same thing, thinking, okay, I'm going to have grandchildren too. So I'm going to do the same thing for my grandchildren. So, and our parents are like that. So both our parents are like that. So I would not be surprised if they already had all that stuff, like, set in stone. So for them, they're like, well, we already have all that for them. So, you know, now we could go buy him shoes and clothes. Like, my dad already bought him a pair of Nike shoes that he can wear when he's like 1.5.
Yeah, that's what I was like, who's wearing these shoes?
I saw that they were so like, these are big. He's like, yeah, that's for later on. You know, later on, when he's walking, he can wear them. I was like, okay, well.
Yeah, he's gonna be wearing those for a while.
Yeah, no.
I already have like a dozen pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Like, you see this little man, he's spoiled.
That's expected, you know, but he must be. To a certain extent, you know, I'm not, he will not be spoiled to the point where, you know, where he knows he's spoiled. Because once they know, it's game over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they'll take full advantage of that. And they know from young. So,
yes.
But I said, you know, you definitely can provide him with things, give him things. But you also have to, that's the thing, you also have to teach them, right? Like, you know, you don't always get everything you want. Things don't always come that easy. So, yeah, you can't always give him things. You gotta make him work for it a little bit.
Oh, he's gonna work. He's gonna work. Think he's gonna be here just chilling, eating up all the food, just hanging out, just sleeping all day. As soon as he start walking.
Yeah, I think that's one thing I enjoy a lot about the journey so far is like feeling the movements and watching it in my belly, like poking this way, poking that way.
Yeah, found my tap man.
Yeah.
And then just tap her belly, you see. Like you're talking to him, he's like, yeah, I hear you, be quiet out there. I don't know if you're trying to relax from disturbing the man piece or something, but that's what I'm saying. He gotta learn to work, because you can't be treating me like this. I'm trying to talk to him, he's like...
I'm sure he's annoyed. Like, I'm sure he's annoyed.
He ain't paying no bills around here, I can talk as long as I want. No? I think that's the good deal.
I feel like every time he hears you, he's just like, oh my gosh. Who is this man?
Why is this guy bothering me?
Well, he's good. He's good. He's doing good. So that's what makes me happy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. So what message would you give to anyone going through, about to, or thinking about, but some people are scared sometimes or don't know what to expect? Words of encouragement. What would you say?
Trust the process.
Keep.
Just trust it. You know, if it's something that you're ready for, I think you have to be mentally ready to have children. If you're not mentally ready, or if you're not mentally stable, then I suggest you not, you know, venture into having kids yet, because it does take a mental toll on you when you're pregnant. You go through so many different emotions, so many different moods, and they just attack you out of nowhere. Like, you could be perfectly fine 1 minute, 2 seconds later, it's like, boom. You're just, you know, in a mood, you know?
Sometimes they're like, why are you so angry? What did I do? And she'll get even more upset. So sometimes I'm just like, you good? Yeah, it's like, okay. All right, you're good. Let me know if you need anything. I'll be downstairs. Continue.
But yeah, you go through so many different things. Your body goes through a bunch of different things. If you're one of the unlucky ones like me, you're going to have that nausea and morning sickness. And I had that throughout my entire first trimester, and about a few weeks into my second trimester, ask him. Like, some days I just could not move. It was like I was just in bed, just laying there, like bedridden.
Eating up all the crackers.
All the crackers. Sometimes ginger ale, sometimes water. Sometimes it was nothing, because you just can't. Like, as much as you try, you just can't. Like, you can't. It just makes you feel so sick. But that's a part of it. And that's something that you have to also, like, try to prepare yourself for, too, is that you could experience it. Some will get lucky, they don't experience it at all. They don't get no morning sickness, no nothing. They just have it smooth sailing. But I wasn't that lucky, so I got it.
Good thing is it didn't last the whole time.
No, it didn't. And some women get it, and it's the whole pregnancy, straight to the end. So some get it, it goes away and it comes back. So they said the third trimester it could come back. So I'm like hoping it doesn't come back. Some days I do feel a little nauseous, but it's nowhere near like what I felt in the first trimester. So, but then, you know, you go through aches and pains. Sometimes you just can't move. Sleeping at night becomes more difficult now, because I'm in my third trimester and my belly's growing. It's hard now to like turn in the bed, and sometimes it just hurts to turn because all the pressure's on like your pelvic area. So it's like pain to turn sometimes. So, and then you have to pee a lot. So getting up out of bed at night, like sometimes 5-6 times at night when pee, like it's interrupting your sleep too. So you're not sleeping, you know, fully.
Yeah. And
then some nights you get insomnia, you don't sleep at all. So all that stuff, like you just have to be mentally prepared for it, and you know, just mentally prepared to know that you're having a child that you're going to be taking care of basically for their whole life.
18 years. No. 18 years.
Past 18. You're going to be taking care of them past 18. So that little perception of people saying, oh, once they're 18, it's done. No, it's not. It's not done. Childhood, teenager, young adult.
Think of it like buying a house. It's an investment.
It is.
And you gotta pay the mortgage till he's like 25, 30 until he's at the house, you know?
Not even then out the house, you still gotta worry about them. You're still gonna be worrying about, that's the thing. You're always gonna be worrying about your kids. Like, our parents still worry about us till this day. Every day they worry about us. So, you gotta be mentally prepared. And I feel like sometimes some people they're not mentally prepared, or they don't understand, like, what parenthood is about. You know, they think of the wrong things. And some people are stuck in that, baby stage because, babies are small, they're cute. They don't think past that sometimes. You don't think, oh, well, the kid's going to grow up. It's going to be small forever, People say, I want a baby because they want a baby to hold and they're cute. And then after that, it's like, they're loud, they play, And sometimes people say they can annoy you because they're calling you all the time and you're just like, what do you want? But at the end of the day, it's like, you just have to remember they're kids. They're kids. So they're going to do what they want to do as children. Just like how we did what we wanted to do as children. I'm sure we went through that stage too, calling our parents 24/7, being annoying. Like, we went through that. So I just think you really have to just mentally be prepared. Financially, I can't say that you're going to always be financially prepared for it, unless you're a celebrity. You want all the money. But I think that no matter what you do to, try to save for a child, it's just another thing you just have to take it as it comes. You're just going to have to make adjustments. That's what I say. Make adjustments in whatever you have already. Try to make adjustments in your bills and all that stuff. And, try to create some sort of budget to try to make it a little bit easier. I thought so.
Yeah. Because by the time you get 2-3 things, big items.
Yeah.
I'm like something like a crib, a stroller, and those are the things you need.
Mm-hmm.
What was like the other big expensive stuff we had?
Mattress.
Yeah. Crib, stroller, mattress.
Those are probably like the biggest items I would say that you need that are probably going to be most expensive.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say that. It depends on you and your preference and what you want, because some people might go for the higher price items. Mm-hmm. So,
but even the cheapest ones are still kind of high. Not like, definitely don't go for cheapest.
No, go for. You know what? Do your research. That's what I'm going to say. Do your research, because if you have an idea of what you want, then do your research on what you want and see, what other people are saying. Like, we've probably watched millions and millions of YouTube videos, done so much research on, mattresses, car seats, cribs, the important stuff you want to make sure. Like, the car seat is the one thing I would say, don't cheap out on a car seat. Put the money into the car seat. Or mattress. Or mattress if you're going to put money in something. Yeah. Those two things you really need to put money into. The crib. Yeah.
It's four sides of wood, yeah.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't fall down when you put the baby in.
Yeah, other than that, that's the crib.
And then you're just going to have other stuff that bottles and, breast pump. But I would say a breast pump is probably another expensive, high-priced item. If you're breastfeeding, you're going to need it.
What about that steam, I think?
The
sterilizer, and then
steamer. Yeah. For food, when it gets to the stage when you start eating and you want to make your own food, which I suggest you do. I don't trust those bottle pre-made baby food things. I don't know about that. So making your own food, if you're steaming, sweet potatoes and carrots and stuff, so you can mush it up for them, then that was a high price item too. And the sterilizer was a high price item. Mm-hmm. But then all the other stuff. Oh, and I don't even know what it's called.
What?
The Munchkin baby thing. They sit in and it moves.
Oh, the swinger?
Yeah, it's like the Mamaroo, but it's not the Mamaroo.
Yeah, the Mamaroo got some money.
Yeah. That one was another high price item.
$300?
Yeah, the Mamaroo's like over $400. Yeah. The Munchkin one was about $2 something. So
even like the cheaper ones are still not that cheap.
Yeah.
And never be afraid to do secondhand or, just do what you can afford. Don't overdo it. Don't put yourself broke just to buy the nicest thing for your kids. Because another thing you got to look at too is a couple months he's going to be this big, and he'll be this big, and then he's going to be this big in a year. He's walking half the things you probably buy.
He's probably going to pick it up and carry it.
Yeah. You can't use it anymore. So what do you...
They'll find a way to use it.
Yeah. So what do you do with it? Hopefully somebody else who's having a baby you can pass it down to. Otherwise, usually you can't really do anything with it. You just got to give it away, donate it or something. Or if you're expecting to have another one, then you have stuff to keep. Mm-hmm. But of course, buy quality stuff. Try and always buy quality. That way, you can think ahead. Well, what if I need that? Or if I'm going to have another one? Mm-hmm. Am I going to have to buy another stroller? Or do I buy a stroller with something that's attached? Maybe I can put 2 seats in. Stuff like that. Crib. You have to buy another bed in a year, every 5 years. Or can I buy something where I can use like adapters? Convertible beds, crib, toddler bed. regular bed, stuff like that.
Yeah. So I wouldn't just do your research, and if you have things in mind that you like or that you want, then just research them and see what they're about. Everything has multiple versions. Yeah. So a stroller, there's like thousands and thousands of strollers, different brands and all different versions. Like there's so much, and it's gonna get overwhelming looking at all this stuff because there's just so many things to look at. That's why I say, Duke, just go on YouTube, type in what's the top 5 best strollers or something, and then go from there, so that you're not going through like millions and millions of things. But keep in mind that some YouTube videos, they only show like the top strollers, so they'll show you like the most expensive strollers that you do not need, like the Upper Vista.
Yeah,
I think it's like $1,400.
Yeah.
I don't know what for, but I just know that hey, it ain't getting $1,400 of my money. So
what's another one? Is Mama Root?
That's the baby.
There's another one with a similar name. It was like it's like a $1,400-$1,500 one, I think it was.
The Nuna?
No, not Nuna. There was another one.
Because I mean, Nuna was expensive too.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, when you do your research, you'll figure it
out.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that for those that are pregnant or thinking of having kids, I need to just know that when you are pregnant, there's going to be a lot going through your mind. You're going to be worried about a lot of things. You're kind of going to be scared a little bit. For me, I think the most thing that I'm worried about is the labor and delivery. Like that's been my thing. I even told him that that's what I'm most nervous about. And I think what makes me most nervous about it is the stigma around just Black women giving birth, period, in a hospital. So we all know how Black women are treated in the hospital. We've all heard some pretty bad stories. Some Black women don't make it out of the hospital. Like there's just so much that happens to us because we're Black. I think that's what makes me the most nervous, is knowing that there's that stigma around us, and that going into the hospital and not being treated how I should be treated, or people ignoring me if I tell them that something doesn't feel right. They're like being passive about it and saying, oh yeah, that's normal, because I know normal from not normal when it comes to me. So if I'm saying something to you that something's not normal, something's not really and truly not normal. So I think that's what makes me the most nervous. So I've been telling her from time, I'm like, listen, in that room, if I say anything that has to do with me not feeling well, I'm in pain, they try to be anywhere near passive, you better be on it, because I'm not having it. Nor should I have to. That's what they're there for. If something's wrong, you check it out and make sure that everything's fine.
Yeah. So
I think that's what I'm most scared about. And I think a lot of women are probably the same. They probably are nervous about labor and delivery, because at that point anything can happen. Everything can be fine up until then. And so I think that's what makes me nervous. But with that being said, I'm a very true believer in God. I trust in God with all my heart. So that's where I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, everything will be fine. Yeah. Day or two, it's Bugaboo.
Bugaboo. Mm-hmm. That's what stroller's name? Bugaboo?
Yeah.
How much it cost?
Let me see. The one I see right here is $1,100. I think but there's different ones. There's 3 different sizes for these ones. Oh, well, regular price $1,900. It's on sale for $1,100.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, special tomato jogger. So this one's a jogger, included medical necessity bag. See the kind of shipping this did sell you? A medical necessity bag. What is that? A first aid kit? Yeah. You can buy a first aid kit for $10.
But that would catch someone's eye. They'll be like, ooh, a medical necessity bag. Let me get that.
This is the other thing too. And I was telling her the same thing. Back home, I don't even know if we have a baby store. I'm sure we have a baby store, but it's not 500 different things. We went to one of the stores down there, and I'm just it's huge. It's at least maybe 4,000 or 5,000 square foot store. And there's maybe 30 different strollers. And for every 30, and that's just brands. For every brand, there's 2 or 3 different levels of it. Some have joggers, some have convertible, some have expandable, some have just single. It's just there's a lot of stuff in here. Do you really need all this? I don't know. Sometimes you see certain things and they're just who really needs this? But they catch a lot of people because oh yeah, well, just so you feed your baby a little better, there's this little pillow you can buy. It's only $80. But there's also a blanket you can use. It's only $150. And you're going to want to, it's certain things that you buy to complete a project. And then you go to Home Depot and then you realize you need 20 different things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's like, well, you're going to want this and you're going to want that. And sometimes you're looking at it and you go, do I really need that? Because back home, we don't have half the things they have in the store. Like, one of the standard features for some strollers is a cup holder. A cup holder? Really? Oh, yeah, you can put your Starbucks, and there's people in the ad doing that, and I'm just like, really? This is a feature? Mm-hmm. Just put the cup holder in the bottom of the thing. Why? But they'll add another $200-$300 just because. So, don't get caught up in that either. Again, know your budget. Don't force yourself. End of the day, the baby needs the money more than the things. So, whatever. It's going to be for a formula, which is expensive. A case of formula is like $50. Yeah. Some kids got your formula like a case in like a couple of days or a week or so.
Yeah, it turns out, baby.
Yeah.
How much they eat.
So imagine it's $50 a week. Let's just say $50 a week, right? For the next 2 years.
Yeah. So if you can breastfeed.
Yeah. And some people can't. So
yeah, it's not as easy as people think it is.
Yeah. So make sure you watch your money, and most importantly, enjoy the journey. Mm-hmm. Don't get too worried about anything. Everything works out. It always does. Don't get too worried that, I'm new to this. This is my first time. It was your first time doing a lot of stuff, but you got through it and you're here. So just take your time, research, get information from people, take advice, look it up online, all that. Ask your doctor, pediatrician, was it an obstetrician? So, mm-hmm. Yeah. Just there's a lot of information out there now. And in the information age where everything's on your phone, your tablet, computer, whatever, there's a lot of ways to get all the information you need. So just don't be too scared, and enjoy it. It's a good blessing. Well, all blessings are good. But it's one of the biggest blessings you can ever have, so make sure you enjoy it. And, take care.
Yeah. I think if there's two things I could say, advice-wise, is if you are pregnant, one, don't compare yourself to other pregnant women or other people. Yes, it's very common. Don't compare yourself. If your belly's smaller than another woman's belly, or your belly's bigger than another woman, don't compare yourself. Don't think that something's wrong with you. Everyone's body's different and adapts differently in pregnancy. So don't think oh my gosh, my belly's so much smaller than this person's belly at 7 months. That person could have already had previous kids, and I know they say people who've had previous kids, sometimes their belly tends to grow a bit bigger than when it's your first pregnancy. So, don't compare yourself to other women because you'll drive yourself nuts. And don't be in Google too much, Googling stuff, because you'll also drive yourself crazy. I mean, it's good to research things, but, you might see, if you're feeling some sort of pain, if you look it up, but don't go in depth with it, because you're going to start reading some other stuff that has nothing to do with you, and you're going to start freaking out.
Well, that's just in general, though. Well, sometimes, I feel a little pain inside. I'm just pain inside. And I'm reading all these, and I'm just okay, I'm going to pick the first three. It's probably the first three, so let me see. Maybe I took too long to eat. I didn't eat anything hot today. It might just be gas.
It's always gas.
But on a serious note, also don't assume stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
Don't look it up and go, it's probably this and it's probably that. Mm-hmm. If you really feel like something is wrong, you should, I mean, I know it's pretty difficult right now with this whole COVID thing, getting to talk to a doctor or something, go to a Shoppers Drug Mart or something, ask some more opinions,
Or just go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Just go to the ER.
even though it's not a place you want to be right now.
Yeah.
But make sure you because the way I see it, sometimes when you ignore stuff or you don't take it too serious, that could have been a time where you stop something from getting worse or from happening. So, But yeah, still, look stuff up, of course. Yeah. Sometimes there's little remedies for certain things you can do that if you don't know or someone you don't know knows, you can find it online. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so.
I also don't, maybe you're pregnant. So you're going to notice is that everybody is going to tell you something. Mm-hmm. People are going to be throwing all kinds of advice at you. They're going to be telling you all kinds of things, what to do, what not to do. And it might get a little annoying because, you're trying to, venture in as much as you appreciate, the information that people are giving you. Obviously, you want to be open. It's just that people are just going to feel the need to tell you things, sometimes randomly, out of the blue. So, take it with a grain of salt is what I would say. Listen to the information. Keep it in your mind, but also remember that you're the one that's pregnant. You're the one that's experiencing things, and what they're telling you is things that they've experienced. and you were two different people. So, you know, they're telling you these things based off of their own experience, you know, but sometimes it can make you worry because if you're not noticing something that they noticed, you're going to be thinking something's wrong with you, but nothing's wrong with you. You're your own person. You're in your own pregnancy. You're feeling your own things. They had theirs. They felt their own things. They might be like, oh, labor and delivery is a piece of cake. And then in your head, you're thinking, oh, labor and delivery, you get to labor and delivery, and it's not that. Like, it's a whole different ballgame for you. For me, I mean, I listen to who I feel is giving me valid information. You know, people I know for a fact, like my mom. I'm going to listen to my mom. Who wouldn't listen to my mom? Listen to my mom. You know, my aunts. You know, I mean, some of my friends too, right? I'll listen to what they say, but it's just that sometimes when people tell you certain things, you're going to be like, what? Like, what are you saying? You know, so I just think that, you know, just listen to what they have to say, take the information in, you know, tell them thanks and everything, but at the end of the day, do your own thing. Do what you feels right for you.
Yeah, you're going to have your own, you're going to develop your own style. And that's part of the problem with not listening too much to people, but at least be receptive, because, you know, you can't do stuff just because somebody else does it. As long as you're doing the right thing, or you're doing the best thing that you think is right at the moment, you're good. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Well, this person does this. This person wakes up 6 a.m. every morning, get the bottles and this and that. You don't have to do that. Maybe your baby gets up at 9. Maybe he gets up at 4. You just have to adjust, get in a nice routine, and do what you gotta do. And don't listen to people when they tell you, oh, make sure you sleep right now.
I was just supposed to say that.
What I'm going to do, what I'm going to save the sleep.
I know, put it in a box.
Well, I haven't slept from January 24th. I'm going to use this tonight because he ain't sleeping. Listen, don't let people scare you that shit. Adjust, get into a nice little routine, you know, and stick to routine. Most of the people's problem is they're not disciplined.
Yeah.
You get in a nice little routine and you get the baby in that routine, and after a while, he'll catch on because they're very intelligent. Don't think because they're small, they don't know it. Their job for the first couple of years of their life is just to take in the information. Mm-hmm. So they're watching, they're learning. So you get them in a little routine. They know certain time I get my bath, certain time I get feed, certain time play, this room, certain time sleep time. So just, you know, stick to it and just do what you gotta do. You know what I mean?
I mean, it will take time for you to get them into a routine.
Yeah. It's
not going to happen right when they pop out. It's going to take some time before you get them into a routine. But, you know, I think the more you try to do it, it might get a little bit easier. Yeah. And I mean, I think that, like I said, we could plan all that and it might not go that way. Like, who knows what's going to happen, right? But I think if you try it out and see, and it could work, but your baby might not be having it. You know, he might just be like, nah, I'm not feeling this. I'm going to do my own thing. You guys figure it out.
That's when you say, listen, man, you're paying the bills here. You're going to do what I say.
No, we're going to do what he says. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, we work for him now. That's our boss. We work for him.
Yeah, so overall, I'm thankful and I'm blessed that everything has been going accordingly. You know, that I'm healthy, that the baby's healthy. So that's what I'm most blessed for. Like, I'm thankful for all of that.
Yeah. Very important. Health. So make sure you keep eating healthy too. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Don't just eat all the junk food you want. I mean, there's going to be time when you just feel like eating junk food, and that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. But don't just only eat junk food. Remember, you got to eat something healthy so he can grow or she can grow. And that's good for them as well, because that helps their development. Mm-hmm. If you want to eat a whole bunch of junk food after they're born, cool. You're only affecting you. Not that you should. But, you know, make sure you look out for yourself, keep healthy, and yeah. Well, thank you guys for checking in and watching once again. So what's happening with the YouTube channel? Is the mom channel coming or what?
Yeah.
Fashion, beauty, mom channel. People say I slack.
Yeah, it's coming. Okay, listen. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm tired. I'm exhausted, y'all. Okay, I'm very tired. Okay? So, I'm gonna get to it.
What is the channel?
It's Newbie and Nia. At It's Newbie and Nia on YouTube. At It's Newbie and Nia on Instagram.
Thank you guys for checking in once again. Stay safe. Stay peaceful.
Yeah. Stay blessed. Don't
forget to like, subscribe, comment, share. If it's been some type of help to you, even if it's not support, just click like. It's free. Free. Alright? Best things in life are free. You're getting free information without charging for this. No. If you want to give a donation, though, links below. Take it easy, people. Once again, it's Prince.
It's Keita.
You'll have Keita. And our new co-host, the man of the house, the boss.